Good? Okay, so I'm gonna check the orders and the patient information to make sure that this transfusion has been ordered. So we are going to do the packed red blood cells because of his GI bleed. He's been typed and cross-matched. Everything looks good with that. I see that his consent has been signed within 90 minutes, so we are all good there. Everything looks good. He is type A positive, and he is going to get O negative, which is compatible. So I'm going to do hand hygiene, provide privacy, and meet my patient. Hello, Mr. Hassan. My name is Dahlia. I'm going to be your nurse today. I see that the doctor has ordered a blood transfusion. Have you ever had one of those? No? Well, that's all right. I'm just going to start by hanging some fluids, and then I'll get some blood for you to help you with your GI bleed, since the doctor has ordered it. So I'm going to assess you and make sure that you are ready and in good health for that. So we get a baseline set of vital signs with the blood pressure, temperature, pulse, respirations, oxygen, all of that. And then I'm also going to listen to his lungs to check for fluid overload. So I'm just going to have you take some deep breaths while I listen. I'm also going to listen to the back. Okay, you sound great. I'm also just going to check his arms and legs for any edema. And I do not see any present. I'm going to check his IV to make sure that it's a large bore, 16 to 18 gauge catheter to make sure that it goes in properly. He's got one here, so that's good. I'm going to now go over to the blood bank, and then I'll come back and flush it to make sure everything's good. So I would come over, I check with the blood bank, get my blood, and then I'm going to assess it, just make sure there's no weird colors or any bubbles or anything in this. And that it matches the patient. So I'm going to have my second nurse come over once I'm at the bedside and just check this with me. So this is for Darius Hassan. The collection date is 210XX. And then the unit number is W0 430 17 02 98 97. And he is type A positive. We're going to give him O negative today, which is compatible. Everything look good?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to do hand hygiene again and make sure that he has privacy. And then I'm going to put on some gloves. And while I'm doing this, if you have any adverse reactions, it's not super common, but it can occur. If you have any itching, swelling, edema, rashes, anything like that, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, just let me know right away and I will make sure to stop it and we'll reassess with the doctor on next steps. So again, just keep me in the loop with that. I'm just gonna flush your IV. Gonna make sure I clean it really good for at least 30 seconds. Okay, the IV is really good. I have this hooked up so it stays clean while I get the fluid set up. And again, I want to make sure that I administer the blood or start it within 30 minutes after I get it from the blood bank. So I would mark the time on that. And then I need to make sure that it runs within 4 hours after I have it. make sure that everything's clamped at first so I don't spill it while I'm getting it ready. I'm just going to prime the line to make sure we don't have any air or anything that goes through. A bit there. And I just need to make sure that this is filled over the filter and that all the saline is over it, so it goes in nice. Which might take a minute. Okay, we're good with that. Everything's good, so I'm going to get him started on some fluids. And again, this is clean because I left this hooked up. I'll keep it in my hand. So I'm going to let the fluids run while I get this set up, all the blood. And before I start this, can I just have you tell me your name, Darius Hassan, and your date of birth? 8/10. Okay, that matches everything that we have. So just final check. I'm gonna stop this real quick before I make a mess. Okay, and then now that everything is set, I'm gonna start the blood. I'm gonna do it very slowly at first. We'll leave it wide open until it gets to the patient. And then once it reaches him, I'm gonna slow it down so it does 2 mils a minute for 15 minutes, just to make sure there's no adverse effects or reactions or anything. This might take a minute. Okay, it's going through the patient, so I'm going to slow it down now to reach that slow effect. And then I'm going to continue to monitor his vital signs, so I would do it again. And then I'm going to do it every hour while the transfusion is going to make sure there's no reactions. And again, I'm going to remind him to let me know if he has any itching, swelling, edema, or any of that. If there was an adverse reaction, I need to stop the transfusion right away, so I'll close all the clamps. I'm going to run a brand new bag of saline to help it get through. I'm going to call the doctor and collect everything and send it to the blood bank. So now that this is done, I'm going to stop the blood. I would open this again to let it run until it's all cleared through. And then I'm going to take everything off. And collect it into this red bag. So I'll continue to monitor him within the next hour to check for adverse reactions, let him know that it can occur within the next few hours, and just keep a close eye on him while I document and chart everything that was done.